Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Plus Jacob Wild 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we find ourselves on the cusp of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, even courting a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever-growing catalog and roll on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. De Plus.
Or De Plus.
De Plus.
Yes.
All right, guys. So we kind of sort of took a week off. Happy to see some people in the comments right off the bat. That's cool. Oh, Monkey. Hey there, Monkey. Appreciate the coaster joke in the description. Yes. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, Donovan, happy to have you on board, man. I haven't seen you in the live chat in a while. Actually, let me change the banner to a blue, nice blue. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Donovan, WTF on Mandalorian, and indeed. So guys, we're a little late on this just because we had to crack out all the seasonal shenanigans and all the holiday stuff. But here we are. You know, one day before Mandalorian, the finale drops, appropriately enough. You know, better late than never. Better late, better the day before than the day of. So, I don't know, guys. Do you want to just jump right into it? I don't really feel like we have a whole lot of pre-ramble.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yep.
All right, so Mando! Oh, God. All right. So I have such a funny story with Mandalorian, guys. I was sitting down to watch episode 7 with my coworker is like a massive super fan of Star Wars, and she actually worked at Lucasfilm for a time. And so she is like way more into the Mandalorian. I like the Mandalorian. I kind of, I'm not I'm blown away by certain episodes. I just find myself liking. One episode or two is, just I don't feel like is up to par. But I will say that the thing that Mandalorian does, I wasn't really expecting. That's maybe a good thing or a bad thing through the first 6 episodes of this show was kind of give us these standalone kind of come and go characters. So this episode going into it, I was like, oh boy, okay, Mandalorian, he's just going on another adventure. This isn't going to amount to anything. It's not like this is going to shape the plot. No, I was an idiot. I was basically a big idiot. I was like right at the point where my mentality on the show was like, okay, it's just going to be standalone adventures every week, and we're never going to meet any of the people that we see week to week ever again. This happens, guys. This happens. What the hell? Oh, man, this was, I think this is by far the best episode of the show. What do you guys think?
This was certainly an excellent penultimate episode for sure. Business isn't quite concluded yet. I think it's evident by our ending. But I gotta tell you, that was wonderful. They brought everything back from kind of the past 6, essentially. It's a fun premise. I love just kind of this too good to be true kind of offer that really kind of gets things going by Grief Karga here, where he's just saying like, hey, everything's gonna be forgiven. We get back to the status quo. We're gonna reset it. You just, we're just gonna,
Dragon. That's the thing that kind of lulled me into like, okay, what are we doing here? It's like we're just kind of like resetting everything. It's like Grief Karga is basically going to give him like a mission of the week. I wasn't digging it. Like I like the efficiency of it, but you understand, like in the first 6 episodes, I was kind of lulled into this pattern that this episode just breaks wide open.
I mean, there's always that sneaking suspicion. Okay, it can't possibly be this easy. Okay, there's got to be there's something more here.
All right. So I guess the big thing to talk about is our returning players.
Yes, we have. We give the Ugnaught kind of moisture farmer a name.
Quill.
Quill. It's Quill, man.
Okay, now help me pronounce this thing. Is it Quill?
Quill.
It's like Quill, but with it's like saying Quill, but with an E.
Quill?
Yeah, Quill.
All right.
Just like a stretched out quill. It's like Quill.
Queel.
Queel.
All right.
We don't have to accentuate it like that. I'm just doing it for comedic effect. Being Queel.
It's Queel. I have
There you
spoken.
go. Queel, I have spoken. That's his last name. If we've seen his driver's license, Queel, I have spoken, the moisture farmer. Okay. Anywho. So we have Queel, we have IG-11, who made an epic return, by the way. Not only did he make a return, he made a really well explained return too, which is great.
It was exactly what you were anticipating, Dragon, pretty much.
Yep.
You repaired the droid. I mean, I tell you,
I wasn't anticipating that he was going to be the one. I was just anticipating him just randomly showing back up, like, "Oh, I have been repaired, and I am still hunting the child."
But that's
But no, they did
ingenious
something
thing.
really cool with it.
I felt so stupid because I didn't put together. Oh yeah, Queel's on the same plan as IG-11. Bear in mind, these two characters never had to interact, mind you. So again, this coming out of like they didn't need to do that at all. But so it's like, oh yeah, I mean, they are on the same plan. So it doesn't kind of make sense. And plus, the Ugnaughts, if you recall, especially from Empire, Ugnaughts are really good at repairing things. And while we saw them disassembling things, presumably they can repair as well. The point being, this guy kind of breaking out of the DNA of we're going to disassemble things for the Empire. All conveyor belty and stuff. You know, let's toss around C-3PO's head, play keep away with Chewbacca.
They managed to turn him into a butler droid.
Yeah. Space Alfred, man. I dig it.
So he's like, would you care for tea?
Very nice.
Oh my god. But I really love kind of like the tension between Mando and him, where Mando just straight up does not trust him at all. I don't know. I think maybe there's some sort of social commentary to be had there. I don't want to get too deep into that because I'm not quite sure what it is, but I did feel something. I did kind of feel this whole, like, you know, like you can't judge someone by their past mistakes or even past lives, you know?
Yeah, I think IG-11 is going to come in for the save in the last episode. I'm convinced of it.
He's got to have that self-destruct.
He's got to, and again, you got to remember the big arc of the whole season. It would seem, given the flashbacks, given everything, I'm sure is going to boil to a wonderful head. And IG-11 is going to be the perfect way to kind of deliver this. Is going to be the Mandalorian. Obviously, has issues with droids because droids are programmed to wipe out his people and his parents, and made him a foundling. So obviously, that's the correlation we're going to have there. Presumably, IG-11 saving Baby Yoda, which by proxy will be saving kind of the Mando in his childhood, proverbially, in the psychological sense, let's call it. So, point being, closure. Awesome.
I mean, I don't think it'll be something. I mean, I hope it's not something that's like, I instantly like droids now. It's like, it was like,
no. It's just
it's like for a droid, you're all right, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a redemption. It's like a mini. It's like not like a full on like, now he's gonna be all buddy with every droid he comes across. Obviously, no. It's just like it's a little goes along. It's like the Western tip of the hat, so to speak, or tip of the helmet. Let's call it.
Yeah. I want to address this one comment just to get it out of the way here. This guy says, "You gonna stream the episode 8?" Now, first of all, 1H. I'm just gonna call you 1H. I'm definitely going to watch episode 8, if that's what you mean. For sure, I am definitely going to watch it probably tomorrow morning before I go to work. If your question is if we are going to stream it on here, no. But if your question is this, if I'm going to watch episode 8, absolutely, and we're going to talk about episode 8 on Sunday.
I'm pretty sure it's what he means, Tiki. That we're going.
All right.
Ideally Sunday we'll be back here.
Yeah, Sunday we'll be talking about episode 8. But yes, I am definitely going to watch episode 8 for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and welcome to the channel. I've never seen you in the comments before. Happy to have you on board.
Yeah.
Anyways, just going to have a couple here. Monkey says, imagine Hondo saying, Mando!
Right. Hondo, Mando, and Lando. Hondo, Mando, Lando.
God. Mando, Lando, Hondo.
The Three Stooges of the Star Wars universe.
Or what you could do is you have just one of these people, whether it's Lando or it's Mando, and you could build a scale like Do, Ray.
Oh God. Would Ray just be the Ray?
That's what I'm saying. She's the Ray. You have Do, Ray, and let's just say BBH or BB.
Oh God.
Do, Ray, BB. All right now.
Okay, anyways.
Being silly, regardless. Now, actually, speaking of Ray,
speaking of silly, Monkey is just like Cure Whip.
Yeah.
Cure Whip.
I knew that was coming, and he did it. Yep. So
Cure Whip.
Anywho. So speaking of Ray, so we did get something kind of without getting into too specific. I assume everyone's seen the new Star Wars movie, but again, I'll be a little dodgy here. We had something in this episode. I mentioned this when we did the spoiler cast for episode 9. We had force healing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Again, the force healing was well, we saw. Baby Yoda. Again, we saw a little bit of the danger with Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda, he's kind of like accidentally force choking.
Oh,
Oh, that was intense. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
it's like where people are wondering how much of this dark side of the Force has this baby been exposed to?
Very interesting. Yeah, it's an excellent point
Right.
too. We don't think maybe we'll get some origin stuff. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe next season. I don't know. I wonder. I really wonder if Baby Yoda is going to be like a 1 season deal, or if at the very least like a main focus of 1 season. Then we're going to move on past in the second
I
season.
mean,
I do
I
wonder.
think he's pretty much basically been confirmed to appear in season 2.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to appear, but I wonder if he's going to be like a main focus going onward.
Can I just talk about how I think I might be the biggest Cara Dune fan on the internet?
You're a Dune rocks, man. You're not.
I really like Cara Dune, and nobody else does. I feel like
I love
feel
Gina
there's no
Carano,
hype
and
for
I
Cara
think
Dune.
I love Gina Carano. I love seeing her and stuff. This is like the third, as I mentioned, I think it's the third thing I've seen her in lately. Because there's Deadpool, there's Madness and the Method, and then there's this, and then she's really good.
Uh-huh.
In this.
What I dig about Cara Dune is that she's basically the Star Wars equivalent of Xena.
It's that's an excellent way of looking at it. Yeah, she is. I'll pull for her in that. Assuming she doesn't get,
cheesiness and all with the way that her character is and the way that she delivers it.
I just really hope she doesn't get killed off because I'd love her to stick around. I'd love her to keep on going. Because again, we can build her into a Xena most definitely. That's the thing. Like yes.
Yeah, and I'm saying like everyone's excited that Peel and IG-11 returned. Of course, we're going to talk about Peel just a second. I'm still processing, still bringing those inside out tissues. Just give me a minute. But
well, he wanted Baby Yoda to see the moon.
God, I think it's underreported just how fun Cara Dune was in this episode.
I liked her from her first episode.
Oh yeah.
Seeing her in here, it's actually like sounding like she was actually the victim of the force choke. And seeing that was like actually caused her to distrust the baby for a bit, the child for a bit.
Certainly. So speaking again, so with the force thing, again, I kind of went in, with armed with some information with this force healing, but I had no idea force healing was a thing. I knew apparently it was in the expanding universe and all sorts of stuff in Star Wars before, but I never knew this was a thing until this.
I don't think it was. I think it was also slightly touched upon in Clone Wars. I could be wrong though.
Well, again, I never got fully into the Clone Wars, but again, you absolutely might be right. What I'm saying is, any of the stuff on the side outside the main stuff up until this point, I was informed. Oh my God, force healing! It's genius, man. It's clever. And of course, there was a payoff. I won't go into the details, but there was a payoff. I was well armed with information with this. And and yeah, it's just I love I love how this leads to the change of heart within grief, and I love Carl Weathers in this, man. If I didn't love Carl Weathers enough already, I just love the idea where he and Mando are kind of already on kind of like the decent. They were kind of on even terms when he shot him in the Beskar, kind of like money, the Empire, basically the unmelted Beskar underneath him. He could have shot him in the head. He shot him in there. I'm convinced they did so it wouldn't kill grief, and it ended up paying off along with this little force healing bit. He decided not to betray the Mando. That's awesome.
Those wyvern things were terrifying, though.
They were very Empire Strikes Back-esque too. Remember, like when they're inside the little worm, the giant worm, and you have the like little things flying on the Millennium Falcon windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the blurgs.
Yeah, those poor blurgs, man.
And then they just came out of nowhere too. It's just like
Space PETA's gonna have a bone to pick with this episode. They really are.
It's like extremely dark, and they're just talking. All of a sudden, wham! They just come on in.
Another nod to classic Star Wars. We have the old infiltration tactic worked in this episode. The old, we're going to pretend to be prisoners being let in by somebody else, so we can, so we can kind of pull a double cross there and pull a little surprise escape.
Nice.
Kind of like the old, Han, Chewie, Luke, Stormtrooper kind of get up there.
The classic Wookiee prisoner plan.
Yeah, the classic Wookiee prisoner plan. Yeah. So, yeah, go on.
Did you guys think it was a little bit of a stretch that they were just going to like walk in there and with the empty, floating crib thing that the child is placed in, and that they're not going to ask to see the child, that the whole like, oh, the child is sleeping was actually going to work?
I'll tell you this, you gotta remember, the Empire, historically, their lack of subtlety at times has been their undoing. Well, their lack of forward thinking has been their undoing at times. Lack of like, okay, let's be absolutely sure. Hey, stormtroopers, you guys carrying the Wookiee. Let's see some credentials. Let's see some work order forms here. So it's sometimes been their undoing, but then again, had the bit gone on any longer than it did, yeah, I think it would have raised more red flags. I think it just lasted just enough time where they were going to check it, then they got a phone call. So I mean, and of course, at the end of the day, we see with our big character
that was
here,
a very convenient phone call.
It was, and at the end of the day, Tiki, the big thing we should talk about, get into, Giancarlo, man. Moff Gideon finally appeared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then the
Moff Gideon. Yeah.
Then the phone call was like turned out to be like the thing that led into like it's like that's what interrupted that bit. So it's like,
exactly that's my point.
It's like Saved by the Bell, then immediately destroyed afterwards.
Precisely, that's the thing. Moff
How
Gideon.
appropriate is it for Giancarlo Esposito to be introduced via a phone call? I don't know. That feels so Fring to me.
It does, and that's the thing. I love that. He's a step. Just from that phone call onward, especially when he shows up, he's a step ahead of everybody. And again, I think they captured. It's like they captured this, and we got to see a little bit of something we never saw with someone like a Grand Moff Tarkin. We get to see like the true menace of a Moff, if you will. We get to see somebody who has like kind of this Imperial officer with a menace who's also clever.
And honestly, if they're like building him up this much, I don't think he's just going to be a threat that's immediately removed in the last.
No,
episode.
I don't think so. I think this is, kind of classic to Gus Fring. I think that's exactly what they're doing with him. They're sort of like, much like how Gus Fring was introduced as sort of like this, this big high-level boss at the end of Breaking Bad season 2, and then went on to be a more high-profile villain in the next seasons. I think that's what we're doing with him.
I'd love to think that, which is entirely possible. Remember, Giancarlo's a busy guy these days. He has like 3 shows going on right now. He's got this, he's got Better Call Saul, and he's got especially in the next season of The Boys, because he's introduced at the very end of The Boys, and he's going to be a bigger player in that as well. So that's the thing. We can only share so much Giancarlo, which makes me fear that we might just kind of cut the cord on Giancarlo so he has time for his other things. I don't know. I'd love to have time for all 3 shows. Let's point out the realities here.
No, I hear you. That's a very realistic scenario there.
And again, if we could just bring him back as a guest star in the next season, so we could still have our cake and eat it too. Which again, fingers crossed.
Kind of like Kingpin and Daredevil season 2.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Which I'd be perfectly satisfied with. So I love. What's so great about his entrance here with Moff Gideon? I love the Death Troopers, man. Because again, one of the best things that come out of Rogue One, outside kind of our third act of Rogue One, was. I love how we see the Death Troopers. It's the simple delineation between the Death Troopers and your Stormtroopers. Aside from being an all black versus all white, is the Death Troopers don't miss. They don't miss, totally. And you have basically our guys are pinned down. There's a bunch of Stormtroopers, but again, like dead center, as the entourage of Moff Gideon, the show. This guy means business. He arrives with the Death Troopers. I was scared.
This guy means business. Even Mando's terrified of him.
Then he shows up pulling, and Giancarlo's putting on the full, it's Giancarlo doing what he does best here. You have something I want. You do not know. You may think you know what you have. You do not. What you have will be mine.
And that raises a lot of questions about the baby, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. And of course, speaking of which, I guess our big reveal, the big kind of gas moment of the episode. So, by the way, the editing on this episode was phenomenal, too. So we get that in there, too. Editing was phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was tough, man. This was really hard to watch.
Wheel
might possibly be dead.
I'm pretty sure he's dead, but
I'm pretty sure he's dead too. I think if he's not dead, that'd be a little bit of a cheat.
I'm holding on to hope, damn it.
Respect, Jacob, respect.
I mean, I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm holding on for the glimmer of hope.
Would you say your new hope's up?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yep. All right. So point being 7, major win for Mandalorian, I tell you, if all the weeks they could have just double dipped, if only like the week where they remember this came right before Rise of Skywalker, if only they had this during Wednesday, then they had the finale within the same Friday, man. Oh boy, they're making us wait for it, but thankfully our waiting will come to an end shortly. Okay.
All right, just going to go through some comments here, guys. Bear with me. We've got a lot of good comments here. The child's father is Jar Jar. Baby Yoda is Darth Plagueis. That's my personal favorite. All right, but on a more serious note, Donovan talking about, Cara Dune's actress,
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano, right. I'm sorry, talking about Gina Carano. She was one of the main women to start women's MMA before Ronda Rousey. Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Monkey says, Carl Weathers was in Rocky 4, so this isn't the first time he's been in something with a robot.
Very true. Very true. Carl Weathers, he's been in he's been in the Toy Story franchise twice. He's been in Star Wars. He's been in Rocky. He's been in Predator. It's like what else can Carl Weathers do at this point just to amaze us all?
And then Donovan absolutely shares your point about the Black Stormtroopers dragon. His one of his favorite parts from Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're on to Goldblum. Goldblum.
Let's Goldblum it up, folks.
Goldblum. All right. I'm kind of like I like this one better than the video game one. I don't like it as much as some of the better ones. I think examples of the better ones are like the ice cream episode, the grill episode, basically anything involving food, I guess. Is that showing my foodie bias?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
All right. The cycling is, I don't know, it's cool. It's just not an area of interest for me, and I don't think it got me as hooked as like the sneakers episode. But it was fun. It was fun, and I like how all the segments blended together.
You know, it's funny. It's so funny you mentioned that, and with the comparisons you're laying out there, because I feel this episode, took cues from both the barbecue and the sneakers episode. They feel it's kind of like a pache, a mixture of both those episodes, and I have the family connected with the barbecue,
The
which
family
I love.
connection, yeah, definitely. And I hope that the family connection, I really want them to do for as many episodes as they can. Just because
that's the most compelling part for me. Like, oh, guys, love seeing have it kind of open and bookended with. There's not a whole lot of substance there, mind you. It's just really cute, and you get that. It's nice to see this side of Goldblum you never see, you know.
Yeah.
And the sneakers, my favorite element of the episode is going with the specialized, kind of the research and development, the whole kind of the technical side, and being the gadget nut that I am. I love it. That kind of reminds me of the sneakers segment where he's going in the wind tunnel and everything.
No, I really like biking. I mean, I'm not like a huge. I mean, I don't participate in races or anything. I mainly do it for traveling, but biking is like one of my preferred methods of transportation, even if it knocks the wind out of me a lot because I'm kind of out of shape. But so this episode actually really spoke to me in a lot of different ways. Like, I really like how he touched upon and I really like the thing in Detroit at the end, the writing with through the community.
Yeah.
Like, I just really like this. I really like this episode. I think it's one of my favorites, mainly because I kind of do like biking myself.
The history lesson of Detroit was really. I love that there was some genuine pathos in that segment when we met Henry Ford II, not the one that's in Ford versus Ferrari, folks. The other. I love that gag too, like the whole "my father worked for Chrysler," which I love that. That was funny. That's the thing. So I do love this compelling story of basically during 2008 there's a huge layoff and our guy was kind of down in the dumps and he kind of saw kids biking that kind of reinvigorated the fire and kind of got him back into the biking of it all, and he made Goldblum a bike. That was cool.
And I love the breakdown of the physics of how a bike is made. That to me is probably the most intriguing part.
Yeah, I was drooling over the carbon fiber segment, man. I really was.
Yeah, the specialized part really probably appealed to your tech geek side.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of sensing a formula starting to develop with this show, which is not a bad thing at all. Essentially, what we have is we have the 3 segments where we have kind of like the thesis segment where Goldblum's kind of like going out into the world, into a community that really loves the subject matter, and he's kind of going out of his comfort zone. And then the next one is the research and development segment where we kind of go behind the scenes. We look at like uses for the product that we wouldn't even think of. We look at kind of like how it gets made on a micro level. And then finally, the third act segment of the show is usually the, kind of like either a bringing community together segment, or in the case of like the video games with like the VR tree, just kind of like the Goldblum being enlightened segment.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool, again, it kind of falls into what I was praising the show for to begin with, is the comfort TV of it all. You kind of like, you can lull yourself into this pattern of like, all right, he's going to go somewhere and he's going to chill out with some people and they're going to teach him about the thing. And then he's going to go to another place where he's going to dive a lot deeper into the thing. And then it's going to all come together thematically with a pretty bow. Yep, and that's an episode of Goldblum for you. And I'm really digging it.
Yep, I love the blooper gag. Basically, the whole thing. Well, the instant replay gag, I should say.
Oh, you mean where he clearly didn't knock over anything?
Yes, I love that. That's what I'm talking about. This is where we're getting some like style and some real fun in the episode. This is what I'm living for with the show. We have like these bits of like yeah.
And then the editor called him out. It's like, nope, you definitely did it.
Love it. It was just great.
It's like they showed like, yep, Jeff definitely knocked that thing over.
Very nice, very nice. All right.
Okay. So let's ask a question, shall we?
Let's ask a question about leadership, because Forky asked it, so we should do the same.
What we should really do is we should come up with like a series of questions that we ask relating to us, and then have like, I don't know.
like, hey, you know what, guys? That's how the cookie crumbles.
What is the YouTube algorithm? What fast pass should I get for Disney World?
I don't know.
I don't think even YouTube.
I don't know.
I don't think even YouTube understands its sorting algorithm.
It really doesn't.
So speaking of which, apparently Forky is a huge fan of Bruce Almighty. I never would have guessed this. But no, yeah. So the way the cookie crumbles, so ridiculous, but so funny. So basically, this is kind of we start with like a jaunty conga line, which is really fun, and basically, it kind of brings up the question of leadership of like the guy leading the conga line. It's a nice visual representation there, and I gotta tell you, it's a little nitty gritty here. We have some really good close up, but we never get like a true blue close up on Dolly in Toy Story. I gotta tell you, the animation, like basically, you can see the texture on Dolly and the stitching and everything, looks fantastic.
It does.
I was actually catching up on all of these, and I watched the one, and I watched like all of the other ones, and I was really impressed by the shot where Forky had the heart taped to his.
Yeah.
Like tape that probably wasn't easy to pull off, but they did it.
Mm.
I mean, this is like just like in-house animation and rendering that we're on the full-blown Pixar here.
The kids out there, sometimes even the most minute of details can drive animators mad. I mean, in Toy Story 3, garbage bags almost rendered the people of Pixar to madness, because just getting the trash bag scenes in the opening just right, and simulators and everything working on that, it was nuts.
As far as I heard, it's like if you want to do an animated movie, don't do trash bags.
Yep.
or like I think a similar story was like in Bolt, where they're like, don't do leashes because then you will cry.
I'm also reminded of the milk in Shrek.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. The milk. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. Yes.
Yeah. Horror stories with that one.
I just love the laundry list of little mundane things that would terrify animators, and I love the old you also hear things like on B Movie how the animators on B Movie were terrified. I don't know how true this is. This sounds like, but then again, after all these other horror stories, it sounds like it would track that hexagon patterns would drive the animators crazy after working on Hun X inside B Movie.
Long
Oh, I
story
can see
short,
it.
animation is hard.
Yes, exactly. It's a moral of the story, kids. Anyway, back to Forky.
Well, I don't know.
So yes,
It'd be
so
funny if it'd be kind of funny if he asked like, "What is animation?"
oh god.
Who would be the toy to explain that to him?
Oh,
Oh, it'd be Etch.
That's
well,
actually what I was
yeah,
gonna say.
but
I mean,
He's
Edge
not
can't
with
talk.
them.
no.
Okay,
Oh.
wait. So in canon, he's not with the toys anymore.
I think
Yeah,
he was,
Etch is not. Well, I'm saying Etch was Andy's toy. First off, I mean, we've never seen Bonnie with an Etch sketch, but I mean, it's been years since the Etch sketch unfortunately has fallen out of vogue these days. I hate to say, I don't think she has an Etch sketch. I know she doesn't have the Etch sketch, so
Okay. Oh god.
preaching to the choir, unfortunately. Anyway,
Hipster Donald asks a question. All right, Monkey, just for you. I know Dragon's gonna hate me for doing this, but just for you. I don't know. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
all right. Anyway, so of course this one Forky gets really distracted right before. I love how each video, each episode, Forky is getting more and more easily distracted. Is really easily off topic.
It's like a runner, yeah.
So basically, I think the runner deep down might be if there's like chronology here. And I haven't really looked at it with a fine tooth comb, but it seems like each installment, he's just becoming less. Basically, the more he's seeking information to better himself, he's losing more along the way. He's learning less each episode. Here's what is leadership, and he gets completely distracted by it.
although he's able to competently learn what British terminology.
True.
That is very true. Yes, that counts for something.
I mean, technically, I realize all those terms are actually accurate. Like, so it's kind of interesting. Like he retains certain information, but is completely distracted.
Yep. Anyway, so of course we have, so Dolly, she has no patience for this at all, and I love how we're getting more shorthand with the comedy away with the continuing Boo gag. We keep. Basically, it's becoming less and less poignant each time we do the Boo gag. Totally. So now it's just completely like we cue the music. Just cue the music. That's the way the cookie crumbles, and he's on the run. it's like no poignant speech or anything. No, like he took a stab with it with Trixie, and now it's just like that's what I'm talking about. Like, I wonder if it's going to get less and less beyond that point going forward. It's just going to be. Now I will echo, perhaps that might be to its detriment. So far, not the case, but again, like this is fun. It may not be the best episode of Forky Asks Questions so far. I think the mug one still holds that one up. You know what is
my personal favorite is Trixie, but bias.
It's another good one. I'm just saying, anyway.
I think the funniest one for me was "What is Love."
Yeah, what is love? So I still love that mug thing. What is a friend?
What? A friend is what? No.
What?
Okay.
No.
What? No.
It is the Mark Wahlberg episode.
Wahlberg here. All right, so Dragon, I'm gonna blow your mind with this. So Monkey's saying like maybe Forky could ask a TV special about animation, and he gets annoyed about it, and it's not responding directly to him. Dragon, what if that was a behind the scenes on the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command show?
I don't think that would work as well as you think it might, but
we could see Al Wiggums recording the voice of Zurg, Dragon.
Look, I'd love to see that, but I mean, a whole Forky of it all, where that's going to break down. That's what I'm saying. I'd love to see the behind the scenes, that in universe. That'd be phenomenal, but I don't know.
Yeah, I actually have a funny story regarding Toy Story 2, but I'm not going to tell that on the air.
Right.
Sorry.
Could Mrs. Potato Head turn up in one of these? What do you guys think?
If they could get Estelle Harris, that'd be great.
It's feasible. I wonder if we're going to use if they're going to continue the archival path with Mr. Potato, or if
I wouldn't put it out of the question that they have more archival Don Rickles stuff they could use.
I mean, there's that. Either or. What I'm saying is, regardless, you could have him in the background doing stuff. You know what's really odd? It's even a question if they can, because Mr. Potato Head Bear in mind, we're on Disney Plus now with this. So bear in mind, we kind of have all the toys to play with, literally and non-literally. What I'm saying is, you'll notice many a time Mr. Potato has used the marketing period with Toy Story because he's not owned. You'll notice if you ever try to find Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story, you'll have a really hard time doing so. Okay, because there's gonna be like one model of Mr. Potato Head with the orange nose. Because every time you see Mr. Potato, it's gonna be like one. It's like styled to a different thing, or it's gonna be the one with the red nose and like the hat and stuff. So there's like a weird like marketing clause. I still don't think they've ever straightened that because they still I can't on my Christmas tree I can't get a Mr. Potato one without it being like a different one the Hasbro.
Oh, wow.
What was it? Is it Mattel or Hasbro?
Ooh, you want me to Google that really quick?
If you can.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it's a company thing where and you'll notice that's why like we were lucky to see Mr. Potato and some of the stuff
Hasbro.
like Hasbro. Okay, it was Hasbro.
More specifically, Play School.
Well, yeah. Now I'm thinking of that line because it's on the first toy store. Like, I'm from Mattel. I'm from Play School. Anyway, sorry. What I'm getting at here is
there are Play School toys present.
I can't say, but okay, now we're just gonna be quoting Toy Story. We gotta get off. That's why my okay, seriously, my point is that I think we were lucky.
You are a toy.
You are a sad, strange little man. You have my pity. Anyway, no, seriously. I think it's like we were lucky to get him in things like Toy Story of Terror and Partysaurus Rex, for example. I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you think about it, we don't see Mr. Potato all that often, but I don't know. I guess we've seen the shorts are a different thing, but especially with the current thing with Don Rickles, I'm not sure. We could always have him in the background. He's kind of a more silent character, or again, ideal is use the archival stuff. It's I don't know. We'll see. It'd be great to see him. I would love to see him.
Okay. Anything else with this episode?
No.
All right. Should we end with Togo?
Big J, you want to end with Togo?
No, I'm just asking, like, because we have Togo and One Day at Disney. So
I know that, but he's the one. Have you seen Togo?
Yes, I've seen Togo.
I know you've seen Togo. Tiki, have you seen Togo?
No, I have not seen Togo.
And that's why I'm asking Jacob. Jacob, do you think we have enough to end on Togo, or should we?
I mean, I can give like a brief review of it after we do One Day at Disney or whatever.
Right, let's do One Day at whatever you want to do. Just tell us.
Let's do One Day at Disney.
All right, let's do One Day at Disney.
All right, so
that, actually,
no problem. So, gentlemen, who here in this room is into sports? Raise your hand. Crickets.
Me.
That's what I thought. Crickets.
No, I'm interested in sports.
But you didn't watch the episode, Jacob, so you don't count. I'm sorry.
More gambling than sports on my end. I can't really wait.
Gambling, huh? But yeah. More Survivor on my end, honestly.
You're gambling with lives, darn it.
Oh God.
Like any medical show too. Anyway, no, seriously.
Do the Oscars count?
Well, if they count. But the point, now we're drifting farther away from sports, if you really look at those are the only sports I care about. It's the real endurance test. No, in all seriousness. So,
all right. So, in all seriousness, though, I do like this woman's story. I just, unfortunately, I'm really not into sports. But having said that, Dragon, you know where I got my enjoyment of this episode out of?
The behind the scenes.
Yeah. Seeing the live broadcast come together, because of course you and I, we run a live broadcast that's obviously a little less high scale than fucking Sports Center, obviously, but still, honestly, what I thought was cool is that, they do have their team of researchers and everything, but really at the end of the day, getting ready for Sports Center and getting ready for a podcast isn't that dissimilar from one another. And that was kind of the cool thing for me, just kind of seeing how it's like, all right, you gotta get your notes in order. You gotta make sure you have everything you want to say, all down and concise if you actually want the podcast to be good. So yeah, I don't know. I got some enjoyment out of it that way, just as a podcaster, a very amateur podcaster.
Yeah, so this lady, Sage Steele, she seemed really nice, just on an unrelated
She
note.
did.
She does seem like a nice lady, honestly. But beyond that, I think it's really well shot. I think it's well put together. It's better put together than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be just droning on about ESPN and why sports are important. This should really be part of our National Geographic segment in the retrospect, but
Oh
we're not.
God.
No, but I like the whole ad-libbing performance side of things. Behind the scenes was quite nice. Not a lot to add there. Definitely not the A stringer of the one day at Disney shorts that they're little segments that they're doing, but could have been a lot worse.
All right, that was quick.
Togo!
Okay, so Jacob, Togo. Now let me just say, I'm sure this movie's fine, but I would have liked it a lot more if it was a documentary on the infamous Japanese coaster manufacturer, Togo.
Okay, so wait, what is Togo, period? Like, what is this movie, and what's this Japanese manufacturer thing you're telling me about?
Okay, well, let me explain the Japanese manufacturer thing first, all right? Dragon, are you familiar with the roller coaster in the New York hotel in Las Vegas?
In Vegas? Yeah.
Yes.
A little. I'm a little familiar with it, yeah, and I've seen it. A little.
Okay, that is a Togo.
Oh.
A Togo, basically, Togo is a Japanese coaster manufacturer. And basically, the funny thing with Togo is that the rides that they have in Japan are actually pretty good from what I've heard. But the rides that they have in North America, for the most part, are awful. And from everything I've heard about the New York roller coaster, yeah, it's one of the worst coasters on earth, which is a shame because it looks really cool. So yeah, I would like to see a documentary about Togo. But anyways, Jacob, please, by all means, tell us about the real Togo.
Well, explain. I mean, you want me to explain to you what Togo is, or who Togo was, Dragon?
Well, it's the whole. I know nothing about this thing. Tell me about this thing. What's the cell? What do you think of this? Or what is this thing?
Well, you know the race. You know the race to the serum race to from Nome, right? In 1925.
Sounds.
The thing that made Balto famous.
Right, yeah.
Basically, this is the one.
Said the Balto story.
That's what I thought he was circling to. I just didn't know if it was 100%.
Basically, this is the story of the dog that ran pretty much over 200 miles of that to get the serum to and from.
Right.
Basically, all the other dogs, like dog teams, ran about 50 or so, like 50 or like 30 to 50 miles. Togo and his Sepola and Togo and and the dog team did a total of over 200 miles across the Alaskan wilderness. And then basically, I mean, you probably know how it. I mean, we don't.
Well, tell me this: is this based on a true story, or is it a documentary?
No, it's actually based on a true story. Like it,
right.
It has Willem Dafoe as Leonard Sepola.
Dafoe's in this.
Yep. And if you look at the pictures side by side, he actually looks like the real life Sepola.
Okay.
So it's actually based on a true story. It's like this is actually the dog that did majority of the running in there. So, and I have to say, like, the cinematography in this entire show, in this entire movie is drop dead gorgeous. I would have loved to see this on a bigger screen, like on cinema, like on a theater screen. It's like the shots of the Alaskan wilderness, even during the storm, and all the shots are just plain beautiful in this movie. I mean, this is a movie I wouldn't have minded seeing in theaters. I mean, strangely enough, considering it came out on the same day as Star Wars did. So I mean, I can't really say much. I mean, you probably already know a lot of how the story would go. Basically, I mean, anything else you want me to say about it? I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was like a very thrilling cinematic experience. It tugs at your heartstrings. What?
How was Dafoe?
Oh, he was great.
All right.
Right.
I mean, Dafoe was great. I mean, he really put a lot into it. I mean, a lot of it, like, there are parts where he like repeat, like, says like the words over and over, like, like ha ha and stuff like that. But it's because he's mushing, so you kind of have to.
Oh yeah, right, for sure.
So he has to. So he definitely gives it his all and makes it. And it feels a lot very believable. It's like it's actually kind of, and it even tugs at your heartstrings a couple of times. Like it's very well put together, well shot, very well acted, and it even talks about how. And I mean, it's not a major thing in the movie at the end, but it actually talks about how, like, since Balto was the one to make it to the end, how he was the one that got all the fame from the race, even though Togo was the one who pretty much did all the heavy lifting.
Oh wow, okay, so it's kind of like a sort of like a deconstruction of a myth in a way.
And kind of an
I mean,
underdog story.
I mean, that was more. I mean, it's not really deconstruction or anything. It's more like telling Togo's side of the story, like making his story known, and like explaining how Balto became famous, even though that's not a major plot point in the movie itself.
Okay.
But there actually are.
Sorry,
there are flashbacks in the story, like tell like basically how Sepala warmed up to Togo, like Togo's history with them and all that. I mean, I don't want to give away too much for people that haven't watched it, but I mean, I just got done watching it not too long ago, actually. So I mean, I don't know what. I mean, anything else you'd like me to talk about for this?
No, bro. I think I got a picture of it. I think we're good.
yeah, I should check it out because I'm a big Willem Dafoe fan, but I don't know if Dragon. I literally just started Watchmen.
Oh,
I'm like halfway through episode 1. That's how fresh I am, but I can already tell you I'm hooked.
mm-hmm.
I can love me some Lindelof. That cold open of episode 1 was amazing. I'm so intrigued.
Yes, a squid.
So yes, suffice to say, that is going to be the focus of my attention for the next, however long it takes me to get through that. But anyways, so guys, coming up next, this coming Sunday is going to be, for all intents and purposes, the season finale of, let's call it Plus&Us Season 1. So basically, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to cover Mandalorian, the season finale, which is, of course, going to be the big headliner on that podcast. And then, we'll go through our usual thing, world according to Jeff Goldblum, Forky, A Day at Disney. But then after that, essentially what our plan is, at least until we get into the Marvel side of things with, I believe Falcon and Winter Soldier is the first one, right?
Yeah, there's Falcon, Winter Soldier. I forget what the deal with What If is. I forget if What If's going to be coming later within the year, but essentially it should be Falcon, Winter Soldier is going to be the first one. Yeah,
I think What If's still slated for 2021.
Okay, the point being then absolutely it's going to be Falcon, Winter Soldier. It's going to start us off. But however, I believe Goldblum will have an ending before then, so we'll probably come back for like maybe a Goldblum specific episode. So like to round up the episodes after. Next week's after all of those are completed.
Yeah, we'll definitely do what we'll do essentially is we'll do like a Goldblum specific episode. Forky's still got a lot of them, right?
Yes, essentially, folks, keep it simple. Going forward, what's going to happen is basically we're going to, after next week, after this Sunday, basically after week 7. We're going to dispel with the week thing. It'll just be Plus&Us coming back, when appropriate, when basically new things are happening, or when things have kind of reached the completion, or so on and so forth.
Right. So event. What should we do about Forky though? Should we do it like every 5 episodes or so?
Well, I imagine basically once the next Pixar Spark short comes up, then we'll do that. And basically, be a Pixar specific show. We'll do that in the Pixar stuff that is accumulated of all the Forky stuff since then.
Are there any more Spark Shorts coming out after this?
Yes, there's going to be one more.
All right.
Okay. All right. And then Monkey and I might do a podcast on Encore if I ever get around to watching Encore.
Sure.
Perhaps that might be in the cards. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about High School Musical, the series. I might get around to that, but like I said, there's a lot better content out there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like it.
I mean, I'm sure I would like it too. I don't know. Anyways, so Monkey says it would be amazing if on the sports episode of One Day at Disney, it ended with "Come visit ESPN Zone at Disneyland." Basically, a joke on how the ESPN zone at Disneyland has been closed for years. Clever girl.
I'm sure the kids are going to get that one.
Wow. I'm sure all the OC kids are going to get that one, Dragon. All the Orange County youths. All those Orange County hooligans out there.
Yeah.
Populating downtown Disney.
They're going to
understand that reference.
They want sports fun when they go to Disneyland.
With their fucking ska trombones and their punk rock tattoos.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I think that's it, right, guys?
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
pretty much said our piece.
Yep.
All right. That'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mano y mano. Just a plus. And us.
Dear Plus.
Plus.
I don't know.
Just Plus.
That's how the cookie crumbles.